My beloved child, take a deep breath and settle your heart, for today is not an ordinary day, and this is not an ordinary message. On this December 19th, heaven has marked this very moment with divine precision, aligning the stars and the spirit realm to reach you exactly where you are. You might have been scrolling through the endless noise of the world, feeling the weight of the day, but Jesus himself is reaching toward you right now. Not later, not tomorrow, but in this very second. If this appeared before your eyes, it is because you were specifically chosen by name to receive it, and I need you to understand that this is a very serious matter. Something has already begun moving in the spirit world around you, and the next 15 minutes of your life carry an unusual, holy weight that you cannot afford to ignore. I ask you not to treat this encounter lightly, because divine moments like this do not repeat themselves often. Hear this carefully. There are millions of people across the globe right now who are scrolling, moving, and distracted by the chaos of life, yet you were the one who stopped here. That is not a coincidence, a glitch in an algorithm, or a random stroke of luck. Jesus knows exactly where to find his own, and today he chose to interrupt your routine on purpose. There is a profound reason you were separated from the noise for this exact message. Heaven is not shouting to the crowd or the masses right now. It is whispering directly into the chambers of your soul. Let me tell you what is happening behind the scenes in the realms you cannot see. The Lord saw the immense pressure you have been under lately. He saw the silent questions you were too afraid to speak out loud and the heavy moments when you almost gave up entirely. He was there when you whispered, "I don't know how much longer I can hold on." Instead of rebuking you for your weariness, Jesus moved closer to you. He has sent Archangel Michael to stand watch and guard this specific moment to make sure nothing, no distraction, no doubt, and no enemy interferes with what is being released to you now. This is a serious time because divine timing matters more than human effort. There are divine windows of opportunity that open briefly in our lives, and if you are spiritually aware, you step through them into your destiny. If you ignore them, they often close quietly, leaving you to wonder why the breakthrough felt so far away. Jesus is trying to reach you because something in your life is currently aligning that must not be delayed any further. What you are sensing in your spirit right now, that warmth, that conviction, that sudden stillness is real. That strange pull you felt before clicking on this message was not random. It was a divine invitation to a higher level of living. Listen closely, for the next 15 minutes are not about fear or condemnation. They are about divine instruction. Heaven is not warning you to scare you. Heaven is warning you to prepare you for the shift that is already occurring around your life. Not everyone is meant to know about this transformation yet. That is why you were told in the depths of your heart not to speak this to anyone just yet. There are some things in the kingdom that grow best in the fertile soil of silence before they are revealed in the full brightness of power. Archangel Michael is present with you right now as a guardian of divine order. Whenever heaven is restoring alignment in a human life, Michael stands ready to defend that process. He protects what God is building within you and blocks every force that tries to interfere with your progress. Right now, he is standing at the very edge of your destiny, ensuring that what Jesus has planned for you is not disrupted by doubt, distraction, or the loud voices of outsiders. Jesus is saying to you, open your eyes and stay with me. This message is unfolding step by step, and each word is being spoken with intentionality. Each pause in this atmosphere matters. You may feel a strange urgency, as if a great secret or a hidden truth is about to be uncovered. That feeling is correct. A truth is about to surface in your life, and once you see it, you will never see your situation the same way again. I urge you, do not rush through this. Do not multitask or let your mind wander to the worries of tomorrow. Give this moment your full, undivided attention. When Jesus speaks with this kind of urgency, it is not because he lacks control over the universe. It is because he loves you enough to intervene before things drift too far away from his perfect plan for you. He is stepping in early so you do not have to clean up a mess later on. This is mercy in action. You may be sitting there wondering, why me? Why was I chosen for this? The answer is simple yet deeply profound. You listened before when others turned away. You believed when it was uncomfortable to have faith. You stayed soft and compassionate, even when life tried its best to harden your heart. Even when your faith felt as small as a mustard seed and you felt weak, you did not let it die. That is why heaven trusts you with this message. Now, something is being held back in the spirit until you fully receive this instruction. Once you understand what Jesus is revealing today, the very atmosphere around your home and your work will change. Decisions that felt impossible will become clearer. Confusion will lose its grip on your mind, and peace will begin to settle where anxiety once lived. This is not emotional hype or a temporary feeling. This is spiritual alignment. Archangel Michael's presence signals your protection, but it also signals your authorization to move forward. It means you are finally allowed to step into the next season without fear. What tried to delay you or hold you back in the past will not have permission to touch you after today. Jesus is placing a boundary around your life that cannot be crossed by the enemy. Stay focused on his voice. What comes next will explain exactly why this had to reach you today, on this exact date of December 19th, and why the timing could not wait even one more hour. This is where everything begins to make sense for you. Take a deep breath. You are safe, you are seen, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. If you can feel the Spirit of the Lord moving in this message, I invite you to pause and engage with this divine moment. Let the world know that you are listening by liking this message and leaving a comment that declares your faith in his timing. Subscribe to this space and stay connected, because what is unfolding here is an ongoing journey that does not end with this one word. When you support and spread messages like this, you become the hands and feet of how God reaches others who are still searching in the dark. Stay with me, for the revelation is only beginning. As this message continues to flow into your heart, you must understand that what Jesus is doing in this exact moment is deeper than just providing temporary comfort. He is actively bringing a supernatural clarity to your life. Many times in your journey, the confusion you have felt was not actually from a lack of effort or faith on your part, but from the immense spiritual noise that has been swirling around you. You have been surrounded by far too many voices, too many conflicting opinions, and too many heavy expectations placed on your life by those who do not see your true calling. Today, Jesus is moving with authority to quiet that noise, so you can finally hear what has always been true for your destiny. In this sacred moment of stillness, heaven is asking you to intentionally slow your racing thoughts, for not everything you have been feeling lately actually belongs to you. Some of the deep, suffocating heaviness you have been carrying was never yours to hold in the first place. Jesus knows the truth of your burdens, and that is why he reached out to you today instead of allowing you to keep carrying that unnecessary weight into your future. When he intervenes in this specific way, it is because he desires to separate what is real from what is false in your life once and for all. Archangel Michael is still standing near you, not as a distant religious symbol, but as an active protector and guardian of your spiritual space. His powerful presence means that, while distractions will certainly try to pull your focus away, they will not succeed if you choose to stay attentive to this word. There is a specific reason your heart feels so alert and awakened right now, and it is because something deep inside you recognizes the truth of God when it hears it. That recognition is being fully awakened again, and Jesus wants you to take a moment to reflect deeply on the events of the last few weeks. Notice how certain things in your life almost worked out, but then they suddenly and inexplicably stalled. Notice how the answers you were chasing seemed so close to your grasp and then suddenly slipped away. I want you to hear this clearly. That was not a punishment from heaven, but a deliberate delay for your protection. Some doors were kept firmly closed by God because you were not meant to walk through them yet, for if you had, you would have settled for much less than what heaven has intended for you. This is exactly where today becomes very serious for your journey. The next phase of your life requires total discernment, not desperation or frantic movement. Jesus is correcting your spiritual vision right now so you do not confuse mere urgency with true divine alignment. Just because a situation feels immediate or pressing does not mean it is from God, and just because something takes more time than you expected does not mean it is truly delayed. Heaven works with absolute precision, not out of panic. You were chosen to see this specific message because you are standing at a critical decision point in your life. Not all decisions in the kingdom look dramatic or loud from the outside. Some are quiet, internal shifts where you finally decide what you will no longer tolerate, what you will no longer chase after, and what you will finally trust God with completely. Jesus is speaking directly to that deep inner decision today. There is also something else being revealed to your spirit. Someone around you has been influencing your emotions and your peace more than you have realized. They may not necessarily have bad intentions, but they are operating with a very limited understanding of your calling. Jesus is not asking you to cut people off in a fit of anger or bitterness. He is simply asking you to stop letting them define your worth or dictate your direction. When God begins to elevate you, not everyone can go with you in the same way they used to, and you must accept that shift. Archangel Michael's role here is vital as a divider of truth and deception. Where the lines of your life were once blurred and confusing, they are being redrawn today. Where you were once unsure of yourself, a divine confidence is now returning to your soul. This shift does not mean that every single answer will appear instantly, but it does mean you will finally stop doubting yourself so much. That is why. Our first major spiritual breakthrough. Jesus is also aggressively addressing your fear of missing out on your destiny. You have worried that if you wait or hesitate, you will lose your chance forever. Hear this truth clearly. What is truly meant for you cannot miss you. The only thing that can truly delay your blessing is fear-driven action. This message reached you before your next step, not after it, because heaven is actively protecting you from future regret. Something is shifting in your perception right now, and you are beginning to see that rest is not a weakness, and patience is not passivity. Jesus himself followed a pattern of resting before major miracles occurred in his ministry. Silence often came before his greatest revelations, and you are being invited into that same holy pattern today. Do not rush this moment away, for the seriousness of today lies in your spiritual awareness. Once you become aware of this truth, you are responsible to listen, to pause, and to respond with wisdom instead of impulse. Jesus trusts you with that heavy responsibility, otherwise he would not have interrupted your day like this. Archangel Michael remains watchful because there will be subtle tests, small distractions, and ordinary tasks trying to pull your focus away from this word. None of these distractions are particularly dangerous on their own, but together they can dilute what God is doing in your heart if you let them. You must stay intentional and stay present, because what comes next will begin to uncover the deeper reason this message could not wait even one more hour. There is a direct connection between what you have been praying for quietly in your secret place and what is about to unfold publicly in your life. The two are much closer together than you think. Let this sink into your spirit. You are not behind schedule, you are not forgotten, and you are certainly not overlooked by heaven. You are being prepared with divine care, and preparation often feels like stillness right before the motion begins. Remain here in this peace, for the next unfolding of this message carries insight that will change how you interpret everything that happens next in your life. To seal this word of clarity, I invite you to like this message and leave a comment declaring your trust in His timing. Subscribe to this space and stay connected, for we are moving into the heart of what Jesus is revealing. My beloved one, we are now moving together into the very heart of why this message feels so intense and profound for your soul. What Jesus is doing in your life at this exact moment is not merely speaking to you from a distance, but He is intentionally positioning you for a destiny you have long sought. You must realize that there are moments in our walk where God speaks with a gentle whisper, and then there are specific moments, like today, when He speaks with a holy urgency. This day is urgent because something significant is about to respond to your past obedience. Heaven is no longer waiting on external circumstances to shift in your favor, it is waiting on your internal alignment. This alignment is a spiritual reality that must be established deep within your spirit before it can ever truly manifest in your outer life. You have been asking God for a specific sign to guide your path. Even if you did not speak the words out loud, your heart was crying out for confirmation on whether you should hold on or let go, whether you should wait in silence or move in boldness, and whether what you felt was a true divine calling or just your own emotions. Jesus is answering that deep prayer right now through these words. This message is not just the end of a long period of silence, it is the absolute confirmation that a new conversation between you and heaven has already begun. Archangel Michael stands here in your presence as a divine witness to this transition. Throughout Scripture, whenever God was about to establish a firm truth in the earth, Michael was present to defend it. His presence here right now means that what Jesus is revealing to you is being heavily protected. No spirit of confusion has permission to distort the truth you are hearing, and no fear has the authority to override the peace that is settling in your heart. This is a rare moment of supernatural clarity, and clarity always demands a response from the one who receives it. Jesus wants you to understand very clearly that what is coming toward you will require a new kind of courage. It is not because the path ahead is dangerous, but because the blessing is entirely unfamiliar to you. Sometimes familiar pain feels safer to the human heart than an unfamiliar blessing. You have mastered the art of survival, but now God is inviting you into a season of expansion that will stretch everything you are used to. This stretch is exactly why this moment feels both heavy and holy at the same time. Jesus is correcting a specific way you have been viewing your journey. You have been measuring your personal progress by visible results and external success, but heaven measures your progress solely by your obedience. You have done more right than you even realize. You prayed when it felt completely pointless to do so. You stayed kind and compassionate when you had every reason to grow bitter. You kept your heart open to God when closing it would have felt so much easier. These choices mattered more to the heart of Jesus than you can know, and now truth is being revealed that cannot be unseen. You are being asked to trust what God shows you next, even if it does not match your previous expectations. Do not rush to take action or try to fix things yourself. Let this understanding settle deep into your spirit first, and the correct action will eventually follow naturally. If this message is resonating with you, I invite you to pause and engage with it right now. Let others know this divine word exists by liking it and leaving a comment that declares your faith. Subscribe to this space to stay connected, because what is unfolding for you does not end with these words. When you spread messages like this, you become a partner in how God reaches others who are still searching for hope. Listen carefully, for the reason you were told not to speak about this yet is not for the sake of secrecy, but for your own protection. Not everyone in your life understands divine timing, and sharing this prematurely can invite unwanted doubt before your faith is fully formed. Jesus often instructed those he healed to remain silent until the right moment, and he is teaching you that same wisdom today. Archangel Michael is here to guard your confidence against the lies that try to sneak in, asking if this is really God or just a coincidence. But remember, coincidence does not speak with this kind of precision. Coincidence does not align dates, emotions, and answers so perfectly. This is divine orchestration. You will soon begin to recognize patterns in your past, not patterns of failure, but patterns of divine preparation. This is the point where many people look away too early, but if you stay, the full picture will become clear. Before we move forward, receive this spiritual activation. Type "I receive divine timing" in the comments if this message is speaking directly to your spirit. Blessing code 777 has just been released over your life, marking a season of alignment, protection, and clarity. As I speak, I sense Jesus saying that those who help carry this word will never lack. When you sow into this mission through Super Thanks membership, P or PayPal, you are watering souls. The word declares that when seed is released into good soil, heaven opens rivers in dry places. Let your giving be a prophetic act of faith, and as you give, may the oil never run dry in your house. May God multiply back to you what you release in faith. Obey what you feel stirring in your spirit right now. Jesus is guiding you into understanding that this shift is quieter, steadier, and far more permanent than a temporary emotional high. This is a realignment of your inner world so your outer world can follow without resistance. You may already notice that your reactions are changing. Things that once triggered your anxiety are beginning to lose their power over you. You are becoming anchored so that what is coming does not overwhelm you when it arrives. The enemy often attacks right before clarity arrives, which is why you may have felt confusion, fatigue, and self-doubt lately. These were signs that you were very close to a breakthrough, not far from it. Heaven does not warn you after the storm has passed, it prepares you before the sky clears. Archangel Michael remains present because your protection is still active during this increased alignment. This transition means that old patterns no longer have authority in your life. Do not interpret emotional resistance as failure. It is simply the transition into your new posture. You are not being asked to figure everything out today. You are only asked to trust what is being revealed, one layer at a time. OD is giving you exactly what you need for this moment, no more and no less, to protect you from being overwhelmed. There is a deep healing happening beneath the surface, where disappointments you thought you had moved past are being gently released by the power of truth. You are realizing that the guilt and regret you punished yourself with were already forgiven long ago. You are relearning to rest in what God has spoken, even before it fully manifests. This is how you stand firm without becoming rigid. Pay attention to your discernment in the coming hours, for you will start to sense what truly deserves your energy and what does not. This growth will lead you to feel less obligated to explain yourself or perform for others. Archangel Michael's presence signals that your boundaries are being restored. Where your kindness was once taken advantage of, protection is now in place. Where your silence was misunderstood as weakness, authority is being established. You will soon approach internal or external realizations, not from a place of fear, but from a place of understanding. This combination of calm and anticipation signals that you are safe and ready for alignment. Jesus builds slowly where he intends to build permanently. You are stepping into a season where discernment will matter much more than speed. Stay with this moment, for you are closer than you realize. My child, Jesus is now drawing your attention to a deeper layer of the foundation he is establishing within you. This transformation is subtle yet immensely powerful because it involves reshaping how you interpret your past so it no longer exerts control over your future. Many people move through life carrying old, heavy narratives that God never actually wrote, and without realizing it, they keep reliving the same painful emotional cycles. Today, Jesus is effectively breaking that pattern for you. He is interrupting the mental loops of conversations you wish had gone differently and decisions you have questioned for years. When his truth enters, shame loses its voice, and you are finally able to see your history through truth instead of regret. You are approaching a season where self-doubt would be dangerous, so Jesus is addressing it now before the next door of opportunity opens. Archangel Michael continues to stand guard because this stage of your journey involves a specific kind of inner warfare. These are not loud, dramatic battles, but quiet confrontations with thoughts you accepted as facts for far too long, such as the lie that you are behind or unqualified. Michael's presence signals that these shadows are being dismantled so you can move forward with confidence rooted in God. You are not being pushed forward, you are being drawn forward by a revelation that creates surrender. Your sensitivity to God's voice is increasing, and you will find yourself noticing gentle impressions and moments of clarity that arrive without effort. Jesus is teaching you to recognize his voice without needing constant external confirmation. This is a season of refinement, where certain desires and ambitions are being softened or redirected so that when success arrives, it does not cost you your peace. You may feel a strange detachment from drama and comparisons, which is a sign of spiritual maturity. When your identity is anchored in him, external noise naturally loses its appeal. As this inner work begins to interact with your daily life, your tolerance for spiritual misalignment is decreasing. Things you once accepted just to keep the peace now feel heavy because discernment is awakening within you. You are learning that peace is the presence of truth, and when truth rises, false peace cannot remain. Jesus is teaching you how to stand your ground without explaining yourself and how to wait without anxiety. Archangel Michael stands watch because increased clarity requires you to become more selective about who has access to your emotional energy. This is the sealing moment, a divine settling of everything that has been spoken and formed within you. Jesus is not rushing this closure, because what is being established must remain stable long after your current emotions fade. You are standing at a sacred threshold where the old no longer defines you. The urgency you felt earlier has been transformed into a grounded, lasting peace. Archangel Michael remains present as a witness of this completion, ensuring that what has been established cannot be undone by fear or confusion. You do not need another sign, for this message itself was the confirmation you requested. From here on, Your faith will be built on the remembrance of how His clarity replaced your confusion. Consistency will become your new strength as you walk forward with reverence for His timing. If you receive this sealing word, I invite you to like this message and subscribe to stay aligned with this unfolding journey. Type "I walk in divine alignment" in the comments to anchor this truth in your spirit. Blessing code 1440 is now released over your life, sealing peace and divine direction. As you feel the stirring in your spirit, remember that those who water others will themselves be refreshed. When you support this mission through Super Thanks or PayPal, you are fueling light for others who are still searching in silence. Obey the stirring in your spirit and walk forward in the authority Jesus has restored to you today.